Happy Wednesday, everybody. I just got back from my trip to the UK yesterday, and I was home for maybe a few hours, ate a sandwich, and then I passed out, and I have been up since 5 a.m. because time difference. I had a really good time. I was going to try to vlog while I was there, but it just didn't happen. I was there to visit my friends and we kind of like hung out. We did go to a few different places. I saw one location where Bridgerton was filmed, so I'll add that photo in here. I also went to a few bookstores. I got some books. I only have one of them with me right now because I mailed the rest of them home because I also bought some clothes and I did not have room in my suitcase for the books. And then we mostly just hung out at my friend's house. She recently moved to Bristol, so I got to see her new home, and it was a really nice time, and I just wasn't even thinking of vlogging. That was my time to be with my friends, who I only get to see like once a year. Though, my friend Carmen is going to be coming here in August so that she can go to Enchanticon with me, which is a fantasy convention that I am an influencer for. I'm going to be doing some panels and all of that, which I'm very excited about. But this week, I kind of wanted to just bring you along with me, kind of see what I get up to as I readjust to normal life. I have work, I have lots of videos to catch up on, but I also want to get some reading and some writing done, so I just thought we could hang out. I hope you enjoy that because it's what you're getting. And if it's not what you enjoy, click off. That's fine by me. It's pretty early right now, so I'm just going to clock into work, see what I need to catch up on. I feel like my work schedule is going to be a little bit insane, especially since I've been gone, but it is what it is. I did not get to write on my trip like I was delusionally thinking I would because I was just hanging out with my friends. And then the one time when I was supposed to be writing, when they were working and studying, I was sleepy. Okay, the time difference was kind of insane, so I was taking naps or reading. Speaking of, for those of you who are interested in my Dark Age journey, because if you didn't know, I tried reading this months ago. I was trying to buddy read it with my friend Margaret, and we just weren't getting into it, and I took a lot of time off, so I decided to just restart it. I barely made it through part 1 the first time around. I am now on chapter 65, so I'm kind of approaching the end of part 3. And there are 92 chapters, so I'm working my way through, I'm on chapter 66. I feel like I'm doing really well. I'm really glad that I restarted the book because I just didn't remember or really grasp onto anything the first time around, so I'm enjoying it far more. I'm about 75% of the way through. I'm very excited. I feel like there's a chance that I could finish this book this week, which means I then get to dive into Lightbringer. I'm a little nervous. I heard it hurts your feelings, so yay! So excited for that. So while I'm doing my hair, I figured I would talk to you about a disappointing book I just finished. And it's disappointing because I was on a roll with this author's books. So if you didn't know, I've been having the time of my life with Christopher Buehlman's stories. I first read Between Two Fires, and then I read Those Across the River. Loved Those Across the River and really, really enjoyed Between Two Fires. And so then I picked up another one. It was The Lesser Dead. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. I found the main character frankly annoying most of the time, which is always unfortunate because you are stuck with them for most of it because they're the main character. The story in general felt pretty flat and anticlimactic for most of it. There was a time where there was a nice little plot twist near the end, but that was really the only time that it kind of picked up, I guess you could say. And then the ending was just so disappointing. The juice was not worth the squeeze with this one, and I'm really sad because I really wanted hit after hit, and I get it. Not everything can be a hit, and maybe this just wasn't written for me because there are some people who love this story, and I love that for them, but not I. And this is what I'll say about Christopher Buehlman. In all 3 of the books that I have read by him, you can tell that it's him, but he does, it never feels like a repetition. They're unique and different, and you can see that he really doesn't confine himself to like one sort of storytelling or story in general, things like that. But this one, I think, just wasn't it for me. This one wasn't written for me, whereas like the other 2 books, it really felt like I was the exact reader he had in mind when he was writing it. And I don't know. I know he has other books. I own one of his other books, which is The Black Tongue Thief. But my friend Michael Kist wasn't the biggest fan of The Black Tongue Thief. And now I'm a little bit worried. Kind of how my brain worked was if I really enjoyed The Lesser Dead as well, I was going to give The Black Tongue Thief a try. And I still might, but I might take a slight break from the rabbit hole of Christopher Buehlman stories that I have been going down. I do know I am going to be reading The Buffalo Hunter with some people. I'm going to be buddy reading that. So I'm excited for that. I also need to get a move on frickin' Blood Over Brighthaven. Jesus. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm going to enjoy it. So perhaps I'll do that. But I'm going to be buddy reading that as well. That might have to wait till after Buffalo Hunter, but we shall see. What I am really excited about is, I think I mentioned earlier that I have a bunch of videos I need to like film and catch up on. And one of the things we do on my Patreon is watching trailers, whether that be like cinematic trailers for games, for movies, shows, things like that. And the one I'm going to be filming, I don't know if it's today, I think it'll be today because I want to watch it, is the trailer for the Murderbot Diaries that Apple TV is making. Oh, listen, I don't think the Murderbot Diaries are anything special. They aren't really doing anything crazy. There's just nothing like wow and super unique about it. However, they are consistently a good time. Now, have I read all of them? No. And will I be picking one up this month after I watch this trailer because I'll want to be back with my little Murderbot? Probably. That is my most anticipated release at this time because I just can't wait to see. I've seen the photos, but the trailer I think was released while I was on my trip, and so I refused to look at it so that I could enjoy it with my patrons. Very rarely do book to movie or show adaptations pique my interest, whether that be because I'm like, oh, you're gonna ruin this, I don't really believe in it, or because I haven't read the book, so I actually have no kind of investment in it. But this time I have. And I think based on the casting and the fact that Apple TV is the one who's making it, they're going to do a really good job. I mean, if Severance and Silo were any indication, it's going to be a good time. I just watched the Murderbot trailer that Apple TV released for my Patreon, and oh my god, I need it right now. I thought for some reason the show wasn't coming out for years, or at least not until the end of the year. So the fact that it's out next month has me going insane. You better do it justice and then add some extra sprinkles on top. Anyways, it's a beautiful day out. My dog's outside just sunbathing. I mean, it's kind of cold. It's really cold. It's 48, but Australian Shepherd, got the layers. He's good. He loves it. Unfortunate for him that he loves the cold because we will be moving somewhere that doesn't... He loves snow, and I am rudely moving him somewhere that doesn't really get the snow that you get here, but he's gonna love it anyways because that means we get to go on more walkies consistently throughout the year, whereas in the winter, those walkies, they get cut short because it's cold out and you're gonna get frostbite. Alright, I have about 40-ish minutes until I have another interview. I'm probably gonna continue watching Supernatural as I work. Yeah. Outfit change. I think we might go on a field trip to the happiest place on earth, Barnes & Noble. It's not actually the happiest place on earth, but it's close enough. It's a bookstore, and that makes me happy. And the reasoning for that is because I have a civic duty, and that civic duty is to go buy the new Shatter Me book. If you didn't know, the Shatter Me series is what made me fall in love with reading. I tried rereading the first book, not a good time. And I don't know how this will go, but because that was the book that made me fall in love with reading, it is my civic duty to go pick it up and read it. And I could get the Kindle version, but the Kindle version is like $13 on sale. Original price? Guess. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. $22. Since when are Kindle prices that insane? I think I'm gonna go buy the physical copy though, because I think I need to own it to go with the rest of the books that I own, which are all of them except I think maybe one novella, which means I have to leave the house. Thankfully it's sunny out, so that actually might be quite nice. We're heading to Barnes & Noble. Murphy. Yeah, we're going for a ride. Oh, I don't like when dogs lick my face. Love dogs though. Don't like when they lick my face. Anywho, I'm going in for one book and one book only. Swear it. I also have cash. So it's like it's free. I have, how much do I have? I got like 30 bucks in here. Free. It's essentially a free book. Oh, my closet's open. Ignore that. I didn't bring you along with me, but I did get the book. Also, what? That's pretty. It does say book 1. Does this mean there's gonna be more than one? Good lord. Okay. I did get 2 other books also. I'm just a girl. I got Carmilla. I actually did want this when I was in the UK. I told myself if I saw this, like I was actually searching for this in stores, never found it, but I knew it was at my Barnes & Noble, so I got it. I've been wanting to read this, and I like it. I like this version. Then I also got this bad boy, which is Even Though I Knew the End. The little blurb on here says, stylish supernatural noir with a heart and a thrumming pulse. I devoured it. And it's a short little guy. It's about magical detectives. That's all I read. I usually don't read the summary, but I saw magical detectives and I said yes. And then I read the first page and I went, yeah, you're coming home with me. And I'll always justify a novella because it's not that big of a commitment. Like I bet I could finish this week. So we will see how much I read this week. I do want to start this book during this vlog just to let you guys know how it is. I believe it follows Aaron and Juliet's son, if I'm not mistaken. When I was actually in New York during New York Comic Con and went to the HarperCollins office, they had a book out that had, I think, the first chapter of this book just sitting out, and I took a photo of it. And I sat there with someone else who was there, and we were the only ones freaking out, and we were reading it, and we took a photo, and it was a silly, goofy time. Oh, Rosabelle. Is it about 2 different people? Who is this about? Dual POV? Or, no, I'm just saying Rosabelle's name. Wait, James. I think James is their son. Anywho, I will be reading a bit tonight, but I need to do some editing first. So I'm gonna do that. I already did the one thing. I was gonna film more today, but it's already 7. It's not happening and I need to go eat. I will film more stuff tomorrow. I did some of the filming I need. We're good. We're fine. We're okay. Also, when I get my books, well, I'm not going to do it right away. I got McDonald's. I'm not going to do it right away when my books come in, but once my Red Rising books, so not the ones that I mailed myself from the UK, but when my new Red Rising books come in, I am going to be redoing my bookshelf just because there are some that I would like displayed differently, like how I have this fan fiction displayed like that. I would like to do that with a few, and what I decided, because this bookshelf is decently deep, is that books that I don't necessarily care about you seeing, I'll just push back and then have a book in front of it. I think it's a really good idea, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But can't do it until I get my Red Rising books, and I don't know when that. It's going to be a couple of months. And I have this extreme urge and desire to reorganize it right now, but the idea of reorganizing my bookshelf twice in a year sounds like a terrible time. And I reorganized this not that long ago, actually, as well. It's always a really fun idea until you're in the thick of it, and then your books are everywhere, and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Okay, I'm gonna watch some Supernatural and eat my food, edit for a little bit. I'm gonna give myself a cutoff time of 9, I think, and then I'm gonna allow myself to read, things like that. I don't know how late I'm gonna last. Last night I fell asleep fairly early, I think at like 8 p.m. So we'll see. Okay, I read this part. I had it wrong. This is not following Aaron and Juliet's child. It is following James, Aaron's younger brother. Because you remember, I forgot. This is the thing. I read those books so long ago, and I remember a decent amount of them, to be fair. But I forgot about James, which is dumb. Because I remember the whole Adam and James, and then Aaron finding out that he had family and like a brother and all of that. It was a crazy time. So it's following James and then this person, Rosabelle. I think she's just like a new character. But I just read a whole 20 pages. I read the first 2 chapters, which are Rosabelle's point of view. I reached James's. I've also listened to a few more chapters of Dark Age this morning. I've been up since 6, so I got to sleep 1 extra hour than yesterday. Granted, I was up later last night. I did not fall asleep at like 8 or 9 like I did the night before. Here's what I'm gonna say. Reflecting on and remembering how my reread of the first Shatter Me book went, the writing in this is better, and that also makes sense because Shatter Me was the first book in the series, and this is like a brand new one by Tahara Mafi, and she's written some other books since. I also don't know if Shatter Me was her first published work or not, but regardless, there have been a lot of books between Shatter Me and this one, so it does make sense to me that the writing is better. I'm assuming this is considered YA, but I also don't know. Should I Google that? Okay, yes, it is YA, and so that's kind of, I went into this expecting YA, so it's not like I have extremely high expectations for like writing, anything like that. So I'm trying to approach this one like how I did when I started the Shatter Me series, and usually that can allow me to have a little bit more fun with it. I'm really just reading this for like nostalgia's sake, even though it's a brand new book, but remembering what it was like to binge the Shatter Me books. I might read some more, but I'm gonna get up, wash my face, moisturize it because it's dry as fuck, make some breakfast. I will be starting work in about an hour, or maybe a half hour. I might clock on early. It's been a hot minute since I've checked in with you because I've been working all day, but I got 2 packages. One of them, don't know what it is. The other one, which I think this one is, I believe I know what it is. I have bought this coat already, and it arrived before I left for my vacation, and then I left it on the plane. Never even got to wear it. So like any sane person, the second I landed and realized I left my jacket on the plane, I rebought it because I really like this. It's like this nice, slightly oversized red faux leather jacket. Good stuff. Hopefully I get to wear that one before I lose it. This one is from HarperCollins, and I don't know what it is. Sorry, I look really disappointed. And it's not that I'm not grateful. It's just that they've already sent me this. And so I thought it was something more exciting. Like when I say they already sent it to me, I mean they already sent it all to me. Miss Harper of the Collins. Girl, I got this a month ago. Thank you, but... Okay, I was sitting here waiting all day to find out what they sent me. I thought maybe it was something really exciting. HarperCollins is coming out with this one book that it's written by 2 authors who you don't know who it is yet. And though I knew I wasn't getting it because I would have gotten a postcard from them, I was still under the slight delusion that maybe I was getting it. Okay, I mean, it's fine. I don't need any more books. But damn, a duplicate? All right, I thought this was going to be a really exciting unboxing that I was going to bring you on the journey for, but 'tis not. Anywho, I have filmed the one video that I wanted to make sure I filmed today, which was episode 7 of The Last of Us. I'm okay if I don't film the rest of them tonight because I do need to finish editing this video that I'm trying to get up by tomorrow, and then I'll just watch the other 2 tomorrow. I just wanted to get one done so I can have that up on my Patreon tomorrow. Really what the rest of my night looks like is trying to finish editing this video. I have about an hour left in it, which sounds crazy because the first episode is an hour and a half. It takes me a bit, okay? And I do talk, so I'm working around things. But once I get that done, the rest of the night is mine to do with whatever. And honestly, it'll probably be reading, whether it be listening to Dark Age, because I only have about 20 something chapters left, or reading the new Shatter Me book, because I do kind of want to find out what's going on. This is going to sound crazy. I'm really looking forward to waking up at possibly 5 or 6 a.m. tomorrow and getting to read in the morning. And what I really like is that I'm not setting an alarm to wake up at a time. I'm just waking up and like, oh yeah, I'm done sleeping. And it's been great. So I want to try to still follow that sleep pattern of not being up super late so that I can keep doing that. However, I do know it will get ruined eventually because my late nights aren't because I'm just sitting there doom scrolling. I'm usually working, not my 9 to 5, my 5 to 9 a.m. But I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. And then I'm really looking forward to this weekend because what I'm gonna do is try to film the other 2 video or episodes tomorrow, and then sometime this weekend I will film, I have to watch The Terminator for Patreon. Oh, not sorry. I get to watch The Terminator, which I bought this little, I'm gonna show you. I've never seen the Terminator, so I don't know how accurate this is actually gonna be, but I looked up photos of the Terminator, and so I'm gonna wear, I think it's like a black shirt. I have a black like faux leather blazer that I'll wear, and then I bought this to put together and wear. Oh, it smells like cheap plastic, which is exactly what it is. I'm glad I took it out of the bag so it can air out a bit. Anywho, I watched Batman on Patreon and I made this like silly little paper mask for Batman. I thought it was actually really fun doing that. So now I like to add little get-ups if I can. If it's too extreme, not happening, folks. Terminator! I don't know what he says. Never seen it. But that's the only thing I need to film this weekend, which is going to be really nice. So the weekend will be reading and writing. I'm so fucking excited. I'm sure I'll do a little bit of editing, but... Oh, I need to watch Avatar as well. Whatever. 2 things to film. And maybe I'll watch Avatar tomorrow. God, this smells really bad. Ugh. How the fuck is it Friday? This week, well, granted, I've only been here for... Okay, actually, now I'm reevaluating what to say. I was gonna say this week went by really fast, but then I remembered I got home Tuesday, so I only worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and yet that felt... It felt like I worked a full 5 days, and I don't know how to feel about that. But it's Friday now, thank God. I also really excited... Where the fuck is my Kindle? Really exciting news. I finally figured out how to get NetGalley ARCs, like the ebooks, onto my Kindle. Didn't know how to do it, posted to Instagram. Some of you helped me, thank God, because I got approved for my second ever NetGalley ARC. The other one I got approved for was V.E. Schwab's new book, Bury Us in Midnight Soil, I believe. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. But I also finally got approved for The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which is the book that's being traditionally published and inspired by Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love. I have been waiting for this for forever. I think I applied for that ARC months ago, at least 2. And at one point I just wanted them to deny me. Just say you're not getting it. And thank God I got it onto my Kindle because no hate, but hate, I do not like the NetGalley reader. That shit pisses me off. So I'm very excited. So now I really want to read. However, I am going to film today. At least 2 episodes that I need to for The Last of Us so that I can stop thinking about it. It's also slightly earlier-ish. It's 6. I'm gonna eat my dinner. I'll probably be done at I'm gonna sit here for the next half hour. It's not gonna take me a half hour to eat, but I'm gonna allow myself to sit here for a half hour. And then I will watch the last 2, which... What does that take me into? How long are they? Under an hour each. The last one's only 44 minutes. So 6:30, film, 7:30, 8. Be done by then. And I'm going to try to stay awake a little bit later today because as much as I love the early nights, early mornings, I thrive working mode, not work, but my work, a little bit later in the day. So I need a few more hours than just what I've been giving myself. So I'm gonna try to stay awake a little bit later, but I'm so excited to read this. I don't know if I'm gonna be starting this tonight or if it'll be this weekend type thing of how I want my main focus to be reading and writing. I always say that, but I always end up doing something else as well. And I do know I need to watch a movie and some other things, but whatever. I think how I'm viewing this weekend is during the day, I want to focus on reading and writing, and at night is when I can film, kind of like as if I'm still working my 9 to 5, but my 9 to 5 duties are reading and writing. And I want to get a lot of words this weekend. I'm getting upset. I have just finished watching the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us Season 1. I cried. Of course I cried. I have decided that on that channel, so if you didn't know, and I've mentioned it a few times, I have another channel where I do movie reactions, TV reactions, things like that, and then also I have a Patreon for that, which is why I ended up making the second account, because that account started as a book and like writing channel, but then I did Lord of the Rings that really blew up, and Arcane as well. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have 2 little spaces for my different hobbies, so this is my book space now. But I have decided to start kind of incorporating elements of how I approach and view books when watching. And it was actually really fun to sit there and think about characters and character arcs and pacing and storyline and everything like that. And it made me really excited. But you know what else it made me want to do? Read. So I am just splicing these up and I'm going to upload them to Patreon so that they can have those tomorrow and over the weekend. And then I am going to eat the little cake that I bought for myself today. You guys didn't know that, but I bought myself some cake and I'm very excited about. Or did I tell you about cake? I bought cake and I used it as a reward system for after I finish filming these 2 episodes. I am going to crawl into bed and book somehow. Either read one of the arcs that I have or one of the books that I'm currently doing. What books am I even? Oh yeah, I have like Watch Me Going and everything like that, the new Shadow Me book. Or I might just listen to Dark Age while playing my little puzzle game. Have I told you about my puzzle game? I'm going to tell you right now. I think in one of my other reading vlogs, I had like a game I played while listening to audiobooks and it was like Master Chef or something. I got tired of that real fucking quick. What I'm not tired of though is this game called Goods Sorting. Not sponsored. I wish it was because they have a loyal player. I am almost on level, can you see that? I'm almost on level 600. I haven't had this game for that long. I will risk a life to show you what this looks like. So this is one of the more tame levels. Sometimes these motherfuckers be moving, but it's just these different things and you match them, but it's strategic as well because you have limited space and you gotta be smart about it and you are timed. So it's paused. Oh, because I haven't touched anything yet, so it hasn't started. But I have 6 minutes and 20 seconds to do all of this, and there's other items behind each. So I think this level probably has like 5 items, 5 different rows. And you gotta be strategic, and it's enough where my brain is activated so that I can actually sit there and listen to an audiobook. I know there's people who work in different ways. For me, I need something to do that is stimulating enough of my brain where I am focusing. The Master Chef game wasn't doing enough because it was like the same 5 recipes over and over, and I was just too good at it. I kept winning. Whereas this one, I lose. I get stuck on levels, and you know what? That's okay. So if I'm listening to an audiobook, I either need to be doing something like that or like a craft or something, which is why I really liked those mini crafts. Those were fun. Or I'll have to have the physical book or something like that and follow along with it. I don't know how some people just sit there and listen. That's a superpower, just like it's a superpower to be able to see movies in your head while reading. And I don't have either of those subscriptions, but I really hate 2 things that people say. The first one being, if you can't see movies in your head, then how do you enjoy reading? Because there's more to it. I enjoy the emotional connection and reading about the relationships and XYZ. There's so many different layers to reading and enjoying stories in that format than seeing it in your head. If I wanted to see a movie in my head, I'd go watch a movie. The second one that I hate is when people say that if you have like aphantasia, it's a lack of imagination. Incorrect. Boy, do I have an imagination. It's not a one or like you have an imagination that means therefore you get to see movie, or if you don't see movie in head, therefore you do not have imagination. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, I've been talking. Wow, I talk a lot. Hope you like the longer videos, and I hope you like these vlog styles. It kind of seems like we're rocking and rolling with them. I really enjoy that. I like sit-down videos. I like doing those every once in a while, having a little bit, but I do like the idea of you guys just enjoying hanging out with me. Because I'm going to keep doing it. If you keep watching it, I'm going to keep doing it. Even if you don't watch it, I'm going to keep doing it. I also do think I will continue the booked and writing episodes. I just have to have something to talk about for like 40-something minutes, which I could find anything, but I'd try to find something to talk about that's worth talking about. Anywho, I'm going to go finish this so that I can eat my cake and then get into bed with a book. Hello. I did not check in with you yesterday at all. Actually, it's Sunday now, which is the last day of this vlog, and it's very late in the day. It's 6 p.m. This morning, I woke up and I did my filming that I needed to get done, and then I played some games with my friends. But last night, I did finish Dark Age. Fucking finally. If you didn't know my journey with Dark Age, I started this book back in December, and it was taking me forever. The first time around, I only made it through part 1, and that took me a very long time. I was just having such a hard time, and Iron Gold just wasn't really it for me either, so I wasn't running on a high. So I ended up restarting it last month, and I just finished it last night. And though the first like 70% wasn't my favorite, that last 30%, that was some good shit. Very appropriately titled book, though. I'm gonna say that right now. So much dark shit happening in that story. But I am going to be starting Lightbringer today. I've already got it on Audible, and I'm very excited because I was talking to someone and they said that Lightbringer really brings back and reminds you of the Red Rising you knew in the first trilogy, which is something that I'm very happy to hear because I have been feeling like with Iron Gold and Dark Age, there are pieces of the original trilogy that I can notice. There's like remnants of it, but it also just feels like a completely different story that I'm used to. So I'm very excited to be able to like go back to our roots, which is exciting. And I'm very nervous. A few reasons. One of them being I'm nervous what's going to happen in Lightbringer, knowing that it's the setup for the final book, but also with being done with all of the currently released Red Rising books. It's been kind of a comfort knowing that I continuously still have all of these other books within the series, but once I finish Lightbringer, it's done. However, that then means I get to go to the books that I've been saving for after Red Rising. One of them being The Will of the Many. I have been told that if you like Red Rising, you will like The Will of the Many. They're very similar. And then also I will be trying Empire of Silence. Now, some people have tried to market and promote it as Red Rising alternative, but I've been told to not have that expectation at all, and also to have the expectation that you're not going to love the first book. I actually think the third book is where people say that they really start loving it, which is kind of disappointing for me to hear, but I'm also glad that I have that warning. It sucks. I personally hate when it takes 3 books into a series for you to truly be invested and fall in love and fall into a rhythm with it. With that being said, though, I am going to be starting Lightbringer this month. I'm also going to be reading the Buffalo Hunter, I believe. I believe it has the word hunter and 2 hunters in the title, but I could be wrong. I'm going to be buddy reading that. So that's going to be fun. And I'm also about, I think, 30% of the way through Watch Me right now. It is what it is. That's kind of my like easy, I want to read something, but I don't want to activate my full brain power. The swearing is a little out of hand in it. And I get it because it's James, that character. And so the contrast between him and his older half-brother, Aaron, who in one of the books mentioned how those who swear, it essentially, he used as an insult, saying that you have such low intellect that you depend on and fall back on swearing, which I don't agree. I swear a shit ton, and I think I'm very smart. Thank you. So there is that contrast between it, but it does feel like he's a teenager who just learned and got the green light to swear, and so he's just using it all the fucking time. There I go, swearing all the fucking time. I also wrote words yesterday. Did not share that. I got about 1,200 words. I wanted to get 2,000 yesterday, but it just didn't happen. And you know what? That's okay. That was my first time back writing, and I'm just happy that I got over 1,000 and that I wrote. I am really excited to be able to fall back into my routine. I do have one more trip that I'm going on in May, but after that, I will not be like leaving the state as far as I know until August. After that, I'll be able to really fall into like a true full rhythm, which will be really nice, but I'm working on falling into one right now as well. And I just kind of gave myself a little bit of grace because last week I got back from my trip and I'm still kind of readjusting to everything, and I had to play some catch up on work and then also other things that I do. But we're leveling back out, and so I'm gonna get back to my bullshit of writing once every other day, which was very nice, especially if I continue with this early morning and getting my reading in the morning. I have this thing where after I finish work, there's a long list of things that I want to do, not need to do. I don't count those ones because that's already kind of added into my schedule, but of want and these different options. And usually it comes down to, do I want to read or do I want to write? Well, I want to do both. It's really hard for me. So if I'm able to get my reading time in the morning, that will satisfy that piece that by the time it comes to the end of the day, it's like, oh, now I get to write. It's not this like choice between the two. Anyways, I'm gonna probably clean up my room just a little bit and then I am going to read. And today I kind of want more of like a later writing session. I can just feel that right now if I were to try to write, it's not going to work, but it feels like one of those ones where I'm gonna sit down tonight, like when the sun goes down or starts going down, and the words are gonna flow, which will be very nice. But I'm itching to start Lightbringer, so I just know that if I also try to sit and write, I'm going to be just thinking about Lightbringer. And reading a book that I'm excited about and interested in does usually result in me wanting to write as well, because I often sit there and go, oh, I want to make readers feel the way that I'm feeling when reading this book. I want them to have these attachments and this investment in my characters and my world. So that'll be good. And that's what I'm going to go do, though. I'm going to go clean up my room because I cannot work. I cannot function in a messy space, and it's kind of messy right now. So I need to do that. Maybe I'll eat some dinner as well. That might be a good idea. I'm actually thinking I want to start Lightbringer, but I might read the first chapter of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy because I really just want to know what it looks like in there. I just recently got that arc. I think I mentioned that in this video. I think I got approved for it while filming this vlog. So I really just want to see what the first chapter is looking like. I'm currently reading the first chapter of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. And while I can already see the inspirations pulled from Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love, here's how I will pitch the main character Osric? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Here's how I'll pitch him to you if you haven't read The Batmobile. Think of a far more pretentious and outwardly intellectual version of Flynn Rider. Oh, my stomach growled. You know how like Flynn always does the look? This character basically did that. And I'm gonna read you a quote. This felt to Osric like the right moment to begin to intrigue her. He pushed his hood back a little so that she could see a bit of the face. He tilted his head so that his cheekbone caught the light. His cleft chin clefted majestically. Who wouldn't want to heal this? So essentially what's happening so far, and this isn't spoilers because it's happening in the literal first chapter, is he is hurt. He has a disease, and if he doesn't get it fixed, bad news bears. And so he is going to this one person who can heal him, but it's unlikely that she will. I think maybe because of their classifications. I'm not entirely sure on that. There are some words in here being thrown at me that I don't know. But we're gonna learn more. You know, I'm still in the beginning. And so he decided it was a really smart idea to bring his way in. So they're looking, I think she is looking for funding, or the company she works for, organization, something like that. So he's like, oh, let's make an offer. Has no intent right now to actually give any money. But he just showed up and is now like, hi, want to heal me? And I think it's so funny. The one thing I am going to say is if you have read Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, and you didn't like the writing or the tone, the voice, whatever that might be, which is very reminiscent of like Jane Austen is a very good example. I believe the author uses that author as an example in their summary on AO3 anyways. If you don't like that more older, classic tone, voice, way of speaking, you're probably not going to like this because it's very much having that same thing go on here. I'm enjoying it because I quite like the way that this author executes that. I'm not a huge fan of classics in general, and just the way in which the writing is. It's not my favorite. Granted, I haven't read that many, so maybe I should try some more. But I really like the way that this author does. I think they do a great job of adding some humor into it, where it almost kind of reminds you of, oh, I don't want this to sound bad, but like those parody musicals or plays where they're in a way mocking classics. That's how it feels for me, and I fucking love it. So far, I am having a great time with The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, just like I thought I would. I am not going into this expecting Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, and neither should any of you, just like you shouldn't go into Alchemized expecting an exact replica of Manacled. But specifically with this one, I know that the author is not just taking the Batmobile and replacing names and publishing that, because they have kept the Batmobile up and they just said it is very much like it or inspired by it. It's already 10 p.m. somehow, and I don't know actually how that worked out. I am very proud of myself because I'm still awake. Crazy, because the last few nights I've been falling asleep at like 9 p.m. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to finish this chapter. I'm going to do a little bit of writing, and then it's good night. So I'm gonna try to check in once more before I do that, before I fall asleep, just to let you know how much I ended up writing. And yeah, hopefully I do that. No promises. There's always a chance that I do.